The US-China trade war has taken a dramatic new turn, one that could have far-reaching consequences for both nations and the world at large. What began as a dispute over tariffs and trade imbalances is now evolving into a much more complex and personal conflict. For years, both nations have exchanged tariffs on goods, targeting everything from electronics to agricultural products. These measures have disrupted supply chains, raised prices, and fueled uncertainty in global markets. But now, the conflict is shifting to something more personal and more visible to everyday consumers: fast food. Recent reports indicate that Beijing is considering imposing special tariffs on McDonald's, one of the most recognizable American brands in China. If enacted, this move would mark a major escalation in the trade war, signaling a willingness to target not just industries, but individual companies that symbolize American culture. Targeting the Golden Arches isn't just about economics, it's a cultural strike, a message that no American brand is off-limits. McDonald's, with its global presence and deep roots in both countries, has become a symbol of American influence and lifestyle. This shift from broad sectors to a single iconic company is a calculated message to the US, showing that China can hit where it hurts most, at the heart of American soft power in everyday life. The global economy is already fragile, with businesses and consumers feeling the strain of ongoing tensions. This new front in the trade war adds even more uncertainty, making it harder for companies to plan for the future and for families to feel secure about their jobs and finances. The Trump administration's aggressive trade stance has already rattled international markets, causing stock prices to swing wildly and investors to worry about what comes next. Now, with McDonald's in the crosshairs, the trade war is hitting closer to home for ordinary people. It's no longer just about abstract numbers or distant industries, it's about the places where families gather, eat, and connect. The question now is clear: are global consumer brands the new battleground for geopolitical power? As the world watches, the answer could reshape not just trade, but the very fabric of international relations and daily life. China's move against McDonald's is both economic and symbolic. It's not just about burgers or fast food, it's about sending a message to the world, and especially to the United States, about China's growing confidence on the global stage. With thousands of locations in China, McDonald's is a major American presence. Its Golden Arches are instantly recognizable, and its menu has become a part of daily life for millions of Chinese consumers. Imposing tariffs on McDonald's would directly impact its profits and slow down its ambitious expansion plans in one of the world's largest markets. This could also make American investors nervous about the future of US brands in China. But the real power is in the symbolism. McDonald's is a global icon of American culture, representing not just food, but the spread of Western values and lifestyle. By targeting it, China asserts its own cultural pride, showing that it can stand up to American influence and protect its own identity. It's also a way for China to signal that it won't passively accept US dominance in trade or culture, and that it's willing to take bold steps to defend its interests. This strategy stirs nationalist sentiment at home, rallying public support and encouraging consumers to think twice about supporting American brands. In this way, a simple trade dispute is transformed into a cultural confrontation, with ordinary people caught in the middle. Instead of imposing broad tariffs that could hurt its own economy, China's surgical strike approach targets a highly visible US brand, making a statement while minimizing collateral damage. It's a sophisticated tactic, designed to show that China can retaliate in creative ways that go beyond simple tit-for-tat measures. The world is watching as China flexes its economic and cultural muscles, reminding American companies that they are not untouchable. The message is clear: American companies are vulnerable to political and economic shifts, especially in foreign markets where they have a big presence. China is ready to push back, and it's willing to use powerful symbols to make its point. The world is watching to see how the US responds, and what this means for the future of global trade and cultural influence. Washington wasted no time firing back at the news of a possible McDonald's tariff. President Trump sees any attack on McDonald's as an attack on America itself, a blow to national pride and identity. US officials have condemned the move, calling it petty and vowing retaliation if China proceeds. The administration is considering expanding tariffs or taking action against Chinese companies in the US. For the White House, defending iconic American brands is about more than business. It's about protecting American values. This transforms a corporate dispute into a matter of national security, raising the stakes for both sides. the administration is also rallying domestic support, framing the conflict as a fight for American jobs and way of life. The message, America won't back down when its symbols are under threat, the trade war just got personal. The ongoing US-China trade fight, which has already sent shockwaves through the global economy, may soon see a surprising new participant, India. As the world's largest democracy and a rapidly growing economic powerhouse, India's potential entry into this high-stakes dispute could dramatically alter the balance of power. Frustrated by recent US tariffs targeting Indian goods, officials in New Delhi are keeping a close eye on China's latest moves, especially Beijing's actions against American giants like McDonald's. The Indian government is weighing its options, analyzing how China's response might set a precedent for their own strategy. According to sources familiar with the matter, India is seriously considering imposing its own symbolic tariffs on prominent American brands operating within its borders, but only if China takes the first step. This calculated approach allows India to send a message without acting unilaterally. If China and India were to coordinate their efforts, it would send a powerful and unified message to Washington, signaling that American trade policies are facing resistance from not just one, but two of Asia's largest economies. For India, this is a way to assert itself on the world stage, pushing back against perceived economic bullying, but stopping short of a full-blown trade war. It's a strategic move to showcase India's growing influence and independence in global affairs. Both India and China have long-standing grievances about US trade policies, including tariffs and market access restrictions. This moment presents a rare opportunity for the two Asian giants to unite, at least temporarily, against what they see as American unilateralism and protectionism. Such an alliance would mark a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape. Historically, India has kept its distance from China on most global issues, preferring a non-aligned stance. But the current trade tensions may be enough to bring these rivals together, at least for now. For the United States, the prospect of India siding with China is a major strategic setback. Washington has long hoped to cultivate India as a counterweight to China's growing influence in Asia. If India shifts closer to China, it could undermine years of diplomatic efforts and complicate America's broader strategy in the region, making it harder to contain China's rise. With these new developments, the stakes in this escalating trade conflict are rising faster than ever, and the world is watching to see what India will do next. If China and India both target McDonald's, the impact could be severe. McDonald's has invested heavily in both markets, and tariffs would likely slash sales and damage its brand. Consumers might turn to local competitors, erasing years of growth for the company. Worse, a government-backed campaign could permanently tarnish McDonald's image in these regions. This isn't just about burgers, it's about American soft power. For decades, brands like McDonald's have spread US culture worldwide. If they're pushed back, it signals a decline in American influence and a shift in the global order. Other countries may follow suit, making it harder for US brands to succeed abroad. The world could become more fragmented, with brands caught in political crossfire. The fate of McDonald's is now a symbol of America's changing role in the world. The threat of a burger tariff has rattled American business leaders. If McDonald's can be singled out, any US company in China could be next. This uncertainty makes it nearly impossible for companies to plan or invest confidently. Many business leaders are urging the White House to de-escalate and seek a diplomatic solution. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce warns that using brands as pawns will hurt American workers and shareholders. Some executives, however, support a tough stance, arguing that only strong action will force China to change. The business community is divided, caught between protecting profits and supporting national interests. Companies must now decide, pull back from China, shift operations, or lobby for policy change. The choices they make will shape the future of global business. The stakes for American companies have never been higher. The McDonald's conflict reveals a deeper struggle: national pride and identity. For the US, McDonald's is a symbol of capitalist success and global reach. Defending it is defending American values. For China, targeting McDonald's is about asserting its own identity and pushing back against Western dominance. This is more than economics, it's a cultural showdown. In the US, the move sparks anger and a sense of threat to America's global standing. In China, it fuels nationalistic pride and support for the government's tough stance. When trade disputes become battles of identity, compromise is hard. Neither side wants to lose face. The conflict becomes a zero-sum game, raising the risk of miscalculation. The fate of global trade is now tied to the unpredictable forces of national pride. The world is watching as two giants clash over more than just burgers. The burger war is sending shockwaves far beyond the US and China. European leaders fear their own brands could be next if this tactic spreads. The possibility of India joining China alarms Western strategists, hinting at a fractured global order. Developing nations are watching, weighing their own interests in a shifting landscape. The outcome could reshape globalization itself, moving from open markets to fragmented, protectionist blocks. If brands become weapons, consumers face higher prices and disrupted supply chains. The era of easy globalization may be ending, replaced by a world of economic rivalry. The Golden Arches now symbolize a pivotal moment in history. How this conflict ends will shape the future of global power and trade. The world waits to see if cooperation or confrontation will define the next era.